How's it going, guys? Preston or Citizen Response. Today we're going to talk about the build, a little bit of the philosophy of use behind this kind of budget, poor man, 300 blackout setup. Before we jump into the main topic of the video, as a lot of you guys know, I'm an affiliate with Attorneys on Retainer, the best legal self-defense program that you can have in the United States. They'll cover you in all 50 states, as well as covering gun-free zones, prohibited weapons, all kinds of things that normal concealed carry insurance simply can't do because AOR is a law firm. If you're interested in saving some money on your one-time sign-up fee, use my code Citizen Response down below. So we got the pistol set up right here, a few props we'll talk about. So the first thing when it comes to building any AR is the why. I think you can make like general purpose guns that can do a lot of different things, but for this specific use case, which I'll talk about, there are a lot of reasons why, based on my usage that I need for this rifle particularly, that I needed certain parts in certain places. So for me, my why for this gun was a very short, lightweight gun that I could engage 100 yards basically within for hogs specifically. We have a big hog problem down here in Texas. So I'm lucky enough to have a few ranches and properties where I have the ability to kill as many of them as I want to and as many as I can. The property owners love it. So I've been hog hunting for a long time now. I've killed hundreds of pigs, my friends and I, over the years. And so after using a lot of different setups, trying different things, this is kind of what I fell to. Now, a few caveats with this. I hunt rather on properties that have cattle, right? They have a lot of cattle. So if you're hunting somewhere where there's no cows, your setup can be a lot different because you can engage from a lot further distance. For me, I have to make 110% sure that every round I fire is going at a hog and not a cow. And you might say, oh, it's easy to tell the difference. It's not. At night, even with good thermal optics, it can be difficult in tall grass to tell the difference between a calf and a big hog. So for me, I have to be in close, like 95% of the time, like we're talking 50 yards and in, for me to be able to PID every animal in that group before we engage. That kind of sets the parameters for my purposes for this. Now, why 300 blackout? There's a lot of good cartridges out there. I wanted a small frame AR because I do some spot and stalking with this. So I need to be able to get out of the truck, go far distances carrying my tripod, and the lighter I can be, the better. But I've had issues with 223. I've killed a lot of pigs, like I said. In 223, we talk about the perfect neck shot, which you should always be able to drop the first pig. If you can't drop the first pig with a perfect neck shot, that's a problem. Now runners, that's a whole different thing because like you're talking about hitting them on the run, you're not going to be hitting them probably in the CNS, so it doesn't really matter what caliber you're hitting them with. A lot of times if they're big enough, they're not going to drop anyways. So for me, I'm looking at, I get that guaranteed first shot. It has to be drop done right there every single time. 223, even with good quality ammunition, did not always get the job done. There were plenty of times where I'd take a perfect shot on a pig and they would still run, which for me, I like to recover them, so I don't want them to run. There are a lot of good cartridges out there, 7.6239, 6.5 Grendel, 6.8 SPC, but this stuff right here is what brought me to 300 blackout. I've used Barnes ammunition as well as some Hornady stuff that's good, but this AAC Saber Black Tip 125 grain, first off, it's cheap. These are like 67 cents a round. I mean, and so when you're talking about shooting a high volume of pigs, I mean, I could shoot 2 or 3 mags in a night, and that's on the low end for some people. You know, it adds up really quick. The cost adds up really quick. But these black tips do an exceptionally good job at dropping pigs in their tracks when you get proper shot placement. Out of the short gun, this is a showstopper within 100 yards. And like I said, most of the time I'm taking shots from within 30 to 50 yards. I like trying to shoot them on the run. I'm not very good at that yet. I'm still getting practice on it. But if you're planning on taking shots at longer distances, I would probably stay away from the 8-inch barrel, which we'll talk about the barrel and everything in a sec. 300 blackout, because it drops off really quickly. But if you know your engagement distance is going to be well within 100 yards all the time, then 300 blackout is a very good choice. A 7.6239 is a great choice as well, but the ammo is basically the same price, and you can run. You have to change a lot more parts and you have a lot more reliability issues with 7.6239 guns, whereas this is easy to set up. So if you're between those two, I would go with 300 blackout. If you're looking for more long distance engagement, like shooting coyotes at 150, 200, 300 yards, I would stay away from something like this. Set up maybe a 6.5 Grendel AAC makes the Saber Black Tip and 6.5 Grindle as well, so that would be my second choice, would be Grindle. And 6.8 SPC is a great round. The problem with it is its availability and very expensive, so I would kind of stay away from that, probably for a general purpose, high volume of shooting hog hunting rifle. Now that we've told you a little bit about the why behind the build, we'll kind of go through all the parts. And I know some people start tip to butt or whatever. I like starting with the heart of the gun because this is the most important stuff, the internal components. So it's actually just a PSA upper and PSA bolt. It's done exceptionally well for me. Once I got my spring system dialed in and my buffer weight system dialed in, I can run every 300 Blackout round that I need to, subs and supers, without adjusting my gas pressure. Now I don't really run subs. I don't really have a use for them. They're kind of a novelty to me. I only run supers. So for me, this is set up perfectly well to be able to cycle whatever 300 Blackout I feed in it, even though I am shooting these AAC rounds exclusively these days. So PSA upper bolt carrier barrel. I'm running an 8.5 inch ballistic advantage barrel. I actually happen to just have this upper. It used to be 16 inch AR upper. I repurposed it. I actually chopped the barrel myself because I'm not the barrel, the rail myself, because I didn't want to go buy a new rail. I got a ballistic advantage barrel at a crazy low price. And these barrels are exceptionally accurate. They're very good. I've run them in a lot of different ARs over the years. So I'm happy with ballistic advantage. It does everything I need it to do. 8.5 inch barrel, got my rail chopped to be able to fit my suppressor mount. This is a Yankee Hill Machine Resonator K. I've been running this can for many years now. It's not the quietest can in the world, but it keeps the overall package very short. And for the size of it, it's really good. Compared to a lot of other K cans, it's probably the best sounding K can in this size category. And I'm happy with the YHM mounting system. I've got a few of these QD mounts on different rifles, so I can move all my suppressors back and forth. Lower, PSA lower as well, with a LaRue 2-stage trigger. I'm a big fan of these LaRue triggers. They are very crisp. They're very light. They're great for hunting. I like the 2-stage. I can come to the wall, press through, confirm my shot. I think they're every bit as, I've shot Geisley, I've had Geisley triggers. I think the LaRue triggers are every bit as good, and they're a lot cheaper. When I got this, it was like 80 something bucks. They're probably like $100 now with inflation. Grip wise, I think your grip doesn't matter that much. This is one that I got for free, sent out to me for testing. I'm still testing it, seeing how I like it. I've got a few other grips that I'm looking and seeing and figuring out which one I like the best. However, when I'm in the field, I don't really notice a huge difference between all the different grips. I just don't love the sharp angle of the A2, so I like something a little bit more straight. This is from a Men 2. They sent me some mags as well that I've been testing, and they've been 100% reliable so far. All right, some of the other things. SBA3, this is the knockoff one from Amazon that was like $30. I actually like this better than the normal SBA3. It hugs tighter onto the buffer tube, and there's less wiggle than when you're using the normal one. So this one has been excellent for me. Let's talk about optics setup. So this is extremely important. I did not always have the thermal. This is the AGM TS25 384. I got this a killer deal from Palmetto State Armory when I was looking to upgrade to thermal. For many, many years, I did not have the money to be able to go out and buy thermal, so I was using the Sightmark Wraith. And so I think the Wraith is an excellent option if you're on a budget and you're looking to get in a night vision game. Like if you have a group of buddies that's going out and they're night hunting and you don't have an optic, the Wraith is gonna be the way to go if you're not wanting to drop all the coin on the thermal. You're gonna be able to do 80% of the things with the Wraith that you can do with the thermal. When you're talking about when you've already ID'd pigs, like let's say you're hunting over feeders and you got thick brush all around you, you're not gonna get a huge benefit out of the thermal. Because if you already know where the pigs are and you know when they're coming, the Wraith is gonna do excellent. You're gonna be able to, especially with a suppressor and you're controlling that flash, you're gonna be able to, shoot pigs, get the job done. I've killed tons and tons of pigs with the Wraith. But for me, when I got access to hunting at some places where I wasn't just hunting over feeders and I was hunting at some large chunks of land where I can scout for hundreds of yards, that's where the thermal's a game changer. I mean, I can spot, heat signatures 500, 600, 700 yards, get in closer to about 200 yards to be able to ID what it is, especially if it's a pig, and then being able to do follow-up shots on runners. This is, night and day difference versus doing that on the Wraith. I wasn't really able to do that effectively on the Wraith. It was kind of 1-2 shots and then you're done. This, as long as I can see and I have a clear backstop, I can shoot. And I can ID pigs in the thicker brush as well. And I think I got this for $1,200. This used to retail for like $2,200, but they moved over to the version 2. So I got the version 1. It's been excellent. I love it. I got it for a great price. And now keeping this thing fed. The thing with these thermals and any of these night vision optics, they absolutely chew up batteries. So for me, the best option is an external battery. This is one from Sightmark I used to use with my Wraith, and I've got it here set up on the thermal. I'll flip this over so you can see what I'm talking about. It's got this L cable right here, and it just plugs in right here with the USB-C. I would highly recommend this if you have a USB-C. If you have a micro USB on your optic setup, I would kind of stay away because it's not going to stay in the gun and it could pop off and then the whole unit turns off. So for this, with that 90-degree setup, it doesn't pop out. I've taken this driving like crazy, chasing pigs, on foot, tracking them for hundreds and hundreds of yards, and I've never had the optic cable pop out. So this is a good to go setup. This Sightmark battery pack keeps this optic running all night. Like, I mean, I've used this thing literally for 8 hours straight hunting one time and did not get it below the third bar. So for me, this is a no-brainer. Takes up a big chunk of real estate up here, but it's not super heavy. And I can keep this thing going. I don't have to turn it off between spots. I can use this for spotting in the fields. And then I just leave it on and I put it on sleep mode until I'm ready to use it. So that's an absolute no-brainer. Now, what's interesting with this whole setup, if you take off the thermal and you're running something like a Wraith, which you can get for $200 to $400, I mean, you're talking about minus the suppressor, you can get the gun set up for like $400, throw the trigger in for $100, throw your Wraith on for $200, and you're talking about like less than $800 to get a night vision setup that you can use to shoot whatever it is you need to shoot at night. That's pretty cool. Now you spend a little bit more coin, you get yourself battery pack, which is like $60. Suppressor, to me, night vision hunting, it's a must. Depending on what you're gonna buy, you're another few $100. Save up for a thermal, run your suppressed gun with a Wraith for a while, save up for your thermal, and then get yourself a used thermal that's a few years older, or a new one that's a few years older, and you have a very, very, very capable setup. I mean, there are people that spend a ton of money getting the exact same thing like this setup. You don't have to have the nicest thing. This isn't a go-to-war, end-of-the-world gun. This is I shoot a few hundred rounds through it a year at pigs. And I've literally never had a malfunction with this setup. With the standard buffer spring and an H2 buffer, it cycles everything perfectly fine. I'm not running an exceedingly high round count through it, so I don't need the nicest duty rated parts. I just don't. This is something that you can build out in whatever caliber you want based on we talked about the use case before. And I think you're gonna get a ton of value and you're gonna be able to kill whatever it is that you are looking to shoot at night. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you have different builds, different setups, different experiences, drop a comment down below. I always like to hear what you guys are doing. I learn a lot from you guys, and I think it's a good community thing, good community engagement, building up the two-way shooting hunting community. Guys, as always, at the end of my videos, I like to give an offer. I'll send you a chronological Bible, totally free of charge. I wasn't a Christian for all my life, kind of headed in a not so great a direction. God sent some amazing men into my life who helped basically call out all the things I was doing, pointing me to something better, following Jesus, learning how to read his word and kind of live out the way that he wants us to live our lives. If you're interested in something like that, learning, you can always hit me in my email, Instagram down below. I'll shoot you one totally free. We can talk about any questions, doubts, concerns, anything that you have. I've done it for hundreds of different guys over the years doing this, and I'd be happy to talk with you as well. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching the video. Get out there, train hard, stay safe.